So this time we're talking about savings accounts. So the interest on earned by savings accounts and the interest charged by credit card accounts usually calculated on the basis of the daily balance. And it's essentially the balance of the account at the end of the day. And it uses simple interest based on the number of days at a particular balance. So we're going to be using simple interest again. And this sort of relates to calculating interest for small amounts of days. So the savings account example usually happens over the course of a month. So it's going to jump straight into an example. And for each balance change, each time money is put in or taken out, however many days, we need to do a separate simple interest calculation for the interest for those few days, and then we add up all the interest at the end of the month. For this example, this is a person with a savings account that has an opening balance of $420.50 at the start of October. So essentially, we're going to count the 30th of September because that was the day that this balance was reached. So we're going to count how many days between here and there, and then how many days after a deposit is made on October the 16th. $300 is put into the account, so 300 deposit, I've added that on, and then we're going to work out the interest on this amount for the remainder of the month, and then that would be put into the account on October 31st. So from September 30th, that's essentially our day one, up to October 15th, that's where we're at this number, this balance. So between here, we've got 16 days. And then from October 16th until October 31st, and we're not going to count October 31st because we're going to be putting interest in. So the balance changes on the last day, which is kind of what happened here. So from the 16th till the 31st, do that on your fingers, essentially another 15 days. And once you've worked out these jumps for the whole month, the number of days should all add up to the number of days in the month. So because we've got two different balances throughout October, we're going to need to do two separate calculations. The other thing I didn't mention, the daily balance is, the amount of interest is 5.2. Our rate 2%. So just convert that to a decimal. So what we need to do is two separate calculations using this for these balances at the right amount of days. For this first one, our principal is $420.50. Our rate is this, 0.052. And our time is 16 days out of 365. I'm not going to calculate this just yet. I'm going to write down the next one. So then after those 16 days, the balance changes. So we've got a new calculation, a new principal. The rate stays the same. And this period is 15 days. So we'll type, So we'll do these calculations separately in the calculator. we get two amounts, and then we can add them up to go total interest at the end. Okay, so 420.5 so this little period, the account and 0.9585. I'm just going to add in the fractions of cents for now, and I'll round at the end. So 95, just over 95 cents. And then for the second half of October, 720.5 plus 5, $1, 3, 9, and I've just rounded that up a bit. So let's add these up. 5 and 7 is 9. So 2.4982. I'm going to round that to $2.50. So that's the total interest, which would then be added in. So the final balance on the 31st of October is $723.02, which would then carry over into the next month. So the important thing to understand is every time there's a balance change, we count how many days at that balance. So that's how many days, that's the balance. When it changes, we have to do another calculation. Sometimes there could be more than 2 of these. Okay, so I'm going to rub all this out and we'll do another example. Okay, so this question is presented in the form of a bank account. So let's just write that down very quickly. March, April, 18th of April. So these are the dates when the balance is changing. April. So this is the interest for March added in. And so the balance here is 2,520.18. Actually, I'll move this across a bit. We can leave space for calculations. Then on the 5th of April, $150 gets taken out. And our new balance is 23708. So here the balance changes. On the 18th of April, we put in $350.90. The new balance is $2,721.08. And we need to work out the interest on these different balances for however many days. Okay, so the first thing, we need to work out how many days these are all in the account at that balance for. So this first one, 30th of March until the 5th of April, 5 days. Let's just do it like that. the 5th of April, so now we're counting the 5th of April up to the 18th. That is going to be 5 take 18, 13 days. Let's just check that with my fingers. But we're not counting that. So yeah, 13 days. And now the 18th to the 30th of April, so that will be 18 take away 30 is 12 days. And just to check, 12 plus 13 plus 5 does add up to 30 days. Okay, so now we're going to set up our simple interest calculation. And what I might do, this is the balance. I'm going to rub that line out. Put it here and just use these. So we're multiplying. What's the percent amount? Okay, so the savings account pays 4.2% interest on the daily balance. So just write R equals 0.042. So here, always the same rate, and we're multiplying by 5 out of 365, and that one is 13 days out of 365, the last one is 12 days. So 3 separate calculations, and we're going to add those up, and that will be the total interest added on the 30th of April, and then we can work out the final balance. So, calculator. 2, 5, 2, 8, 5, $1. Let's round these. $1.45. The next one. 2, 3, 70.18. 2, 9, 13, 5, $3. I'll round that one as well. 5, 7 to 1. 0.08 times 0.042 times 12 divided by $3.76, and I've rounded all those up, so I kind of feel like I've got a bit extra. I might be 1 cent out. 5 and 5 is 10. 16, 7, 3, 16, 8. So we've got $8.76 in total. This is our interest. Which is then added into the account. Interest for April. 2, 7, 2, 1, 8, 7, 6. We get a closing balance of $2,729.84. So that's our final balance for the month. Okay, so in that type of question you are presented with bank account details of when it changes. The last question I'm going to do like this. Expects us to fill out a table as well. Okay, so the question says, Alan Morgan has an account balance of $2,353 at the end of July. Transactions that occurred were August 14th, he deposited $580, so that's adding into the account. And on the 17th of August, we did an FPOS withdrawal for $195. So the first thing is to create the account. So what we're given is first, which is the balance brought forward. And one L, two L's in the whole time. Balance brought forward. Debit, which means taking money out. Credit. Balance with one L. Okay, so when your account, the bank debits your account, that's you making a withdrawal. When you make a deposit, I know deposits sort of things like that, but they credit your account. Okay, so we're told that the balance brought forward is $2,353.80. Now the information we're given on August 14th, deposit of $580, and on August 17th, withdrawal of $195. So we're going to apply this into the account, and then we're going to work out what interest is earned. Okay, so August 14th, and I'm going to say that's 14 days. We're going to deposit, the wrong column, crediting, 580, and we're going to add it to that. Our new balance, $2,933.80. We've done that one. Then on August 17th, we're going to withdraw $195. So that means we're going to take it away. And we end up with 2,788.80. Okay, so determine the balance after interest of 4.75% based on the daily balances added at the end of the month. So on August 31st, withdraw, and then we're going to have the interest. Okay, so now that we've got this information in our table, I'm just going to get rid of that. We need to work out how many days. 14, 15, 16. This is 3 days. And then from the 17th to the 31st is 16. No. 13. And I'm just going to check 10, 20, 23, 26, 30, so that's 14 days. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. It is 14 days. Don't be embarrassed to use your fingers. Got them on your hands. Okay, so now we need to calculate the interest at each of these balances for this many days. And our rate was 4.75. Let's just plop that in the corner. Okay, so our calculation for this first balance, $2,353.80 multiplied by the rate as a decimal, multiplied by 14 days out of 365. So that calculates the interest for those 14 days. Then we have a new balance, $2,933.80 times the same rate, and we're at 3 out of 365. And then we've got the last section of the month, $2,738.80. And that's for 14 days. Okay, so now I can calculate each of these separately, and then we'll find out how much interest gets added into the account. 2, 3, 5, 3, 5. 365. $4.08. I'm going to leave a third decimal place there so I don't lose anything in the rounding. The next one, 2,933.8. 475 times 3 divided by 365. 1, 4, 1, 4. And the last one, 2,738. 13, 5, 4, 8, 9, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to work out the total. 9, 8 is 17, and 5 is 22. 2 is 10. 18, 19, 20, 22. 9, 10, 14, 4, 8, 9. Okay, so we can round that now, 1042. That's our total interest. That's what we're going to add here. And so we'll just add that to this balance. 2,738 plus $10.42. So our closing balance at the end of August is $2,749.22. And that's our final answer. Okay, so that's probably the most complicated type of question that we'd expect you to do with simple interest. So working out how many days at a particular balance and doing a separate calculation for each different balance for the number of days. It's important that the T is years. So when we're talking days, it's got to be a fraction out of 365. Okay, that'll do.